Hello everyone. Welcome to another video and another live. We are doing some more press on nail orders for my Etsy shop. So these are my longest nails I have. They are 10XL taper square. So I'm going to start with base coating this set. And I'm actually using the Born Pretty 6-in-1 nail glue just to give it a bit of extra strength because they are so long that just to give it a little bit extra strength. Because these nails do have a built-in apex. They have a very good apex, but I just find that with very long nails, you do need a little bit more strength and structure on them. How are you all doing? I hope you are all doing well. This is an order for my Etsy press-on nail business. So I sell my press-ons on Etsy, and this is an order I got yesterday. So I'm trying to get it done as quick as I can. And we are applying that base coat just nice and evenly and looking at it from all angles, making sure that there's no bumps or lumps. And what I might do is I might actually just, I might apply 2 nails at a time and just pop them into cure. I think I did that the last time I did these really long nails and I think it worked well. Because otherwise your base coat can flow and it can go even underneath the nail and it can just leak a little bit. So sometimes if you're not sure, you're better off just to cure them 2 at a time. Because these ones, like I said, are very, very long, so they can easily use their shape and lose their shape and their structure. So that's all I'm doing now. I'm just making sure that the base coat is nice and even, so that then the color coat will go on nice and even on top. Okay, so I'm looking from all angles and that looks pretty good. So I'm going to pop those into cure. And just showing you that this is the base coat here. This is the Born Pretty 6-in-1 nail glue. Hi Marcy, how are you doing? I am doing a red set, so it's going to be a plain block color red set because this is an actual order for my Etsy shop and it's a plain red. So it's this beautiful red here. It's from Clarissa and it's a gorgeous red, but I'm going to be painting it on next after this if you want to watch. Thanks for coming on and saying hey, and I'm going to say hi as well to LI102. Okay, so we're just waiting for those 2 to cure. The reason why I did 2 at a time there is just because I was saying they're longer. They can lose their shape a little bit, so just doing 2 at a time. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And I'm going to go in and do the next 2 as well. thing with this base coat, it is a little thicker. It is a little bit like a builder, because you can use it as a builder. So you can use it as a clear builder for overlays as well. You can use it as a top coat. You can use it as a base coat. You can use it for a lot of stuff. It's a very, very, very handy. But I just thought I'm going to use it today for the base coat, just to add that strength. I actually have never used it as a base coat before. I've always used it for encapsulating things on nails, or even as a little builder. I've tried it as a little builder on myself, but I just thought it would be so good for the longer nails for base coat. I can feel something there, something caught in there. So annoying when that happens. I might just have to file that off in a sec. That's okay, I can buff it off. But yeah, these nails are so long. They're 10XL square. They're crazy, crazy long, as you can even compare it to my actual hand. You actually forget as well the fact that they're so long that you have to add a good bit of polish too. You know, you just put a normal amount normally on your brush for painting either your nails or paint and press on nails, but then when you actually remember how long these nails are, you need so much more on your brush, which I'm definitely not used to having that much on my brush either. Okay, I'm just gonna look at this part. Definitely a little hair in there or something. So I'm just looking from every side to make sure that it's not uneven, because you just have to make sure that it's not uneven so that every coat that follows won't be uneven either. And yeah, I'm just going to pop a little bit in here. And I'm going to pop it upside down, just like you do sometimes your nails when you're getting them done in a salon, because it just makes it easier for that base coat to flow to the center and give it a little apex. I'm just going to read some questions. It says, how does anyone like to do anything with nails that long? I'm seriously confused. I know, Felicity, I know. I don't know either. These are so long. Like, they're so long. Hi, Nana Ange. Hi, Sarah. Wow, those are long and fabulous. Aren't they just? Look at those bad boys. They are crazy long. So much so that I have to do like 2 or 3 at a time. I cannot do 5 in a row because it just starts to get a little bit uneven. Hi, Claire the chicken. Hope you're all well, guys. Thanks for coming on and saying hi. I really appreciate it. I'm just doing some Etsy orders, so it's lovely to come on and have some company while I'm working. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Makes my work go a little bit easier too. These are Etsy orders, which I'm so grateful for. And this base coat looks good so far. I can already see though in this one there's a couple of little bumps. I'm going to have to buff them out, or else they're going to just continue it into every coat, which is really, really annoying. But the rest of them look good. I'm just going to pop it in again. And this is the base coat I used. I went for a little stronger one just to make sure that those long nails have a little bit of structure, because it's only going to need 2 colour coats and a top coat. So I just wanted to make sure that they had a little bit of extra kind of strength. And yep, I'm working as well, but listening. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks for joining me and saying, hey, hope your work is going well. Okay, so I do have to buff this part out here, which is very, very annoying. I'm going to do that now though. And I just try to do it without getting dust on the other nails. That's the only other thing. So I'm just going to literally go in with my file and try and buff it out, because I don't want to create dust particles, because if the dust particles then get on the other nails, it's going to be very annoying to try and paint the colour code on. So all I'm doing is buffing this out lightly until I feel like it's not there basically anymore. And there was another one, I think it was down here. Is this it? Or no, it's up here. Of course it has to be the middle nail, which is the most awkward to get at, but that's okay. It's basically just the same way as if you had your nails being done and a lump came in, you'd have to kind of try and buff it out, because if you didn't, that lump would go through all the colour coats. Okay, so now that I have that buffed out, I'm going to grab a lint-free wipe and some acetone, and I'm going to wipe that dust that I just I just created that dust there. So I'm going to grab a lint-free wipe. Let's see. Hi Courtney, oh my god, I made it to your live. Hi, I'm so glad you made it. That's great. Thanks for jumping on. I'm doing an Etsy order here. I can still feel that lump now. I'm going to have to go in and buff that again. I still feel that, so I'm just going to do that again. Yeah, I'm just doing an Etsy order. So this is a 10XL square order and it's red. And I've probably done this before. I definitely have done this before, because I think I've made these nails a couple of times at this point. But I decided to just come on and do a live tutorial of doing it in real time, because, well, I have to do it anyway. It's kind of fun to do it on live and just do a little tutorial on it. I'm just wiping off the dust there now. So they should be ready to paint. I'm probably going to do the exact same, and I'm probably going to do 2 first just to see how it goes and then work from there. So we have Clarissa at 419 for the red. And we're going to start our painting. Again, you have to have like more on the brush than you normally have, because they're such long nails. So you can have a big pile of gel polish on the brush and it'll be fine. Whereas usually when you're doing nails of a normal length, you don't have that much on the brush at all. You're actually trying to minimize what you have on the brush, because it could cause wrinkling in the lamp if you have it too thick, especially if it's a pigmented color. But if it's this length, you more than likely will have to go in and dip your brush into the bottle 3 times to even get it to cover this length of a nail. But I have to say that coverage worked really well. If I can hold it up closer, yeah, look at that, that's really nice. That's a really good coverage there. So I'm going to just pull it back a little bit. You can get it in the second coat anyways. Anything that we miss, we're going to get back, we're going to get it in the second coat. And like I said, I'm going to do 2 at a time. I gotta get back to work, but wanted to say hi so long. How do people wear these? I know. Oh, well, have fun at work and don't work too hard, like we say. Don't work too hard. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do this nail, and then I'll probably cure these 2. And every time I'm just looking at every angle to make sure that they are not like uneven, and you're also looking for bubbles because you don't want bubbles either. So there's a few things you have to look out for. It's not as simple as just painting on, as we all know, especially when they're this long. And you can go then from the tip as well and just kind of pull it back up too, because it helps. It kind of helps for the polish not to pool at the bottom there, which it can do for some reason with these tips, because there's like a little bit of, it seems to be like there's a little bit of a dip, and that's just the way those tips are made. And this is looking quite good. I just want to make sure it's not too thick either. Like I said, with red and dark colours, you don't want it to be too thick because they can really wrinkle in the lamp. Okay, I think that should be good, and I'm going to pop it in to cure because I don't want to keep messing around with it. I'm going to cure 2 of them first. Let me just see, and I'm just going to read a couple of these now. Hi, Yolanda. And I love a hot red nail. Me too. Me too. They are so timeless. Timeless, timeless, timeless. A good red nail is so timeless. Yeah, so I don't know. I've no clue, like we were talking about earlier, how people do anything with these nails, but sometimes I think when people order nails this long, is it for like a photo shoot or something? Because I can't imagine it's for every day going around the house kind of nails. It definitely isn't. just making sure those are curing in there. Another thing with these big long nails as well is you have to be very careful when you're putting them in and out of the lamp, because they can hit off the edges and then the colour can, you know, like dent. So you have to be very, very careful of that. Okay, so those two are cured. That is the first coat. Very, very good coverage. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And we're going to go in and do the next 3. Maybe I'll do the 3 together. Wish me luck. And that middle nail is the nail where I had to buff off the bump that came from dust or something like that, and it actually worked perfectly. There's no bump there now, you can't see it. So if that ever happens, if you go in with your base coat and you notice a big bump on the nail or a little something that just won't move, just paint on the base coat anyways and buff it off with a nail file or a nail buffer and wipe with acetone, and that bump should disappear, no problem. Ooh, nearly dropped the polish. Yeah. Okay, just gonna do the pinky. I'm gonna keep going because I'm on a bit of a roll here, so I'm gonna do these 3 together. They should be okay doing them all together, and I can look back over them then. So painting nails this long is kind of relaxing because it's just one long piece of nail. So in a way it is more relaxing than painting extreme art on really small nails. But at the same time, you really have to be looking for those little bumps and the bubbles and stuff, because I feel like in a block colour like this, they will stand out. It's nearly like painting a little bit of wood, like a long lad of wood. You have to be looking at it all the time to make sure it's even, because it'll just stand out so much if it's not. You can nearly get away with those little bumps and things if you have like 3D nail art and different bits or charms and stuff covering them. Okay, I'm gonna go back up the way here. Okay, so I'm gonna pop those in. Again, I'm being very careful when I'm popping them in because I don't want them to hit the side of that lamp at all. But yeah, so that is those in being cured. And I don't know about you. Today it feels like it should be Friday. I have no idea why. All day long I keep thinking it's supposed to be Friday and it's only Thursday. Is anyone else like that this week? Maybe it's just me. Maybe the fumes of the polish are getting to me finally. Just taking a sneaky sip of coffee while that is curing. Okay, so that should be good. Yeah, they all look fairly even. And we're going on to do coat number 2. So there'll be 2 coats of this. Which is going to give it even more strength. It'll make it very opaque anyway, but it's going to give it even more strength. So again, we can just add a bit more polish on and go from the tip and bring it all the way back up so that we're not doing any, or we're not having any pooling of polish there anywhere. I don't want it to be too thick, but you have to make sure that you're covering it properly. Okay. Now, on to the second nail. The funny thing with this is that this is a new enough bottle of polish, but by the time I finish this set of nails, it'll probably be almost gone. So I'm going to have to rebuy it. I've bought it, I think, about 3 times or 4 times at this stage already, because this colour in press-on sets is really popular. And every so often I will get an order with maybe 4 sets of just plain red nails. It's from a very regular customer of mine, and they always order about 3 or 4 sets of long coffin in this red shade. So whenever I get an order, I always know that I'm about to run out of this polish because it's just going to be gone. But that's a very, very good complaint to have. I am not complaining whatsoever. And it's from the brand Clarissa as well, and they are so quick to deliver. So if I order like in a morning time, it could be there the next day, you know. So quick for the delivery. It's so good. Now we're just making sure that that is pulled all the way back. And that there's no bubbles. That's my thing. I know I'm repeating myself here, but I just can't bear to look at bubbles. I know 1 or 2 might sneak in, and I'd be okay with 1 or 2 tiny ones, but not very obvious ones. Okay, I'm gonna pop those in. And they are in there curing, so that's the second coat. We're doing well, we're doing well. Nana and God, I wish it were Friday. Oh, I don't know. This week has been, I don't know why. It's just been one of those weeks where I haven't been crazy busy, but I have been busy enough to keep me going. But it seems like I've been way busier than I have been, if you know what I mean. And it also seems like it should be Friday. It should have been Friday on Wednesday. And now it's only Thursday. So it's one of those weeks. But it's great to be on here doing actual orders. The last few times I've been on, I've been just doing samples for my Etsy shop, doing kind of ideas. And as enjoyable as that is, it's lovely, but it's lovely to be on doing actual orders and doing them with ye and making a little video of it. Okay, that looks so good. That looks so good. I know you probably can't even tell on camera, but the first two have 2 coats of that red and the rest of them only have 1 coat. You probably can't tell, but there's just a tiny bit of shading in the ones that don't have the second coat already, and yeah, that's why the second coat is important to do. And I would say I'll be on Claressa's website ordering another bottle of this again. I probably should just order a couple at a time because it's only 5 mils, I think 5 grams. That's why it goes so quickly as well. But it's just such a nice colour. Okay, so I'm just looking at the edges to make sure that they are all good, and that one looks quite good. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. Starting near the cuticle area and pulling down. I'm just trying to be really careful because that 4th nail is a little bit loose. I'd say the sticky tab underneath is a little bit loose on the stand. And it's kind of tempting to hit off this one, so, or it's trying to hit off the next one. So I'm just trying to get this painted and popped in the lamp before it does hit off it, and then I have to go fixing it. Might just tidy tidy up that a little bit as well. Yeah, I'm just looking at it from every angle, but that looks good. I'm just going to pop that in because I don't want it to mess up. So I'm going to pop in, and that's why I cure 2 at a time sometimes as well, because the way I have to like maneuver that press on stand right into the back, they're so long that they will just hit off the sides or hit off the back. And if you do 2 at a time, it just helps. You can do 2, pop them in, cure, pull them out, and do the next 2, and then you know if it does happen to bang off the edges, it's not going to really damage the nail design. Because if it does, it's just annoying. You have to go in and you have to maybe file it off or buff it off, or, you know, make it all even again, and that's just so annoying. So I'm just gonna have a quick look at that. Yeah, that's good. I'm just going to do the pinky now because that was the only one that I hadn't done, and then I'll pop them in for a full cure. I have to say I'm so impressed at the pigmentation of this red though. It's just a very, very good red, and it's an affordable brand really, you know. Like, it's not what I would call an expensive brand. I know the bottles do come in smaller, you know, amounts, which means you are going to order more often if you do like a certain colour, or if a certain colour is popular, whether you use it as a nail tech or whether you use it as a press-on business. However, when there's certain colours that you want to order and they're not that popular, you're kind of better off that you don't have to order a big, huge bottle of it, because you can just order 5 mils and you don't have to worry about wasting it basically. Now, so I'm just being really careful pushing that in there, and I'm going to do a full cure on that one because I know I was pulling them in and out a bit. But yeah, no, I think this, yeah, so that's 5 grams, which I think is the same as 5 mils. So yeah, definitely is a smaller little bottle, but I mean, like I said, it's good if you are trying to maybe even build up your collection, or you just need certain colours that you don't, I don't know, how can I say, like certain niche colours that maybe might be in style in autumn, but you don't want to spend a fortune on them. My number 1 colour polish is always going to be Madam Glam, always. I love Madam Glam, and I am intending to build my collection, but for stuff like this, just to have that that can come to me like in one day, it's just, this is a great secondary for me at the moment. Especially for press-ons, especially for things like this when you are doing 10XL long nail sets and they're going to use an awful lot of product, you know. So I'm glad I have a good affordable option. So yeah, let me know if any of you ever use Claressa. Like I've said it before, I don't think it's available in America, but it's definitely available all over Europe. But as far as I know, it's not available in America or Canada. Okay, so that is the 5 of them. They look so good. Look at them. Look at them compared to my nail. Like seriously. so long. I can't even deal with them. Okay, so we're going into top coat now, and we are going to use our Clarissa as well. This is the top diamond. I love this top coat. Usually I use a lot of Beetles just for my press-ons for top coat, but I'm out of it at the moment, so I'm just going to use this. Which is a lovely self-leveling top coat anyway. It's really, really good. Like, I don't know, can you see how nice it is? It's just really, really self-leveling there. Hello, Yumi. How are you? Welcome. We're just doing some press-ons, extra long press-ons. Yeah, so this is nice, and it works well. It works well with self-leveling, because like I said, when you're doing a long nail like this, the same as when I was doing the color coat or the base coat, it's just very easy for it to lose its shape and to go bulky in the wrong areas and stuff like that. So it's nice to have a good top coat. I'll probably paint two and then flip them over like this for the top coat to run to the center and kind of create a little bit of an apex, or for it not to be as lumpy. How are you? I am good. It is 9:44 p.m. It's night, is it? Oh, it's night. 9:44 p.m. Wow. Yeah, it's evening time here, like afternoon. So we are, what is it? 5. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening. Evening. I'm in Nepal. No, I remembered Nepal. Don't worry. I definitely remembered. Okay, so I'm just looking to make sure that it's nice and smooth, because this is going to be the last coat. So this is going to be the last layer of anything that's on these nails. So you want to make sure that it's nice and lump free, bump free, and also just no bubbles. So that's why I'm kind of like looking at it from every single angle. I know I'm repeating myself, but it just has to be done. And okay, I might hold it upside down for a second and just see how gravity works. Okay, see you later. See you later, alligator. Okay, so I'm just holding upside down and see if gravity pulls this to the center and helps my top coat application. Second one looks good, but the first one looks a bit dodgy, so I'm just going to go in and maybe pull it to the center. And pull these to the center because I can see some bubbles. Yeah, so you definitely don't want to have bubbles in your top coat because after all your hard work, you just don't want like bubbles just so visible. And sometimes it's really hard to avoid them. They're just there and they just get pulled around and you're trying to get rid of them and it's so hard. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this gently back and then I'm gonna hold it upside down and I think then we'll be good. And I'll put those two in then. I might just let it settle a bit. I'm just going to hold it and flick it around a tiny bit because the top coat will settle as well doing that. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in for a cure now. And I'm going to turn it on for a full cure and leave that in, and then we can do the last 3 coats. Hi Paulette, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on and saying hi. I've realised as well I have the other 5 nails here to do, but I don't think, so they're here. So this is the thumb one. And for reference, this is how long it is. That's how long it is. But I don't think I'm going to do the other 5 today because I've just done the 5 on camera, start to finish, and it's just going to be the same thing again. And because they're so long, it's kind of repetitive, as in because the nails are so long, it's kind of repetitive because you have to be really slow. I don't know if you were watching this, yeah, you have to be really slow with your color coats and your base coat, and I was kind of explaining a little bit of that. So just because they turned out really well, now that top coat looks good, but just because it's so repetitive and you have to be so careful, I don't think I'll do the other 5 now because I reckon you would get very bored of watching it. So I'll probably do them tomorrow, just off camera. And then this will be ready to be packaged up. I think that's probably a good idea. Because honestly, I think I'd even bore myself if I had to do the other 5 and start talking about it again. I think I'd bore myself as well. I'd probably just fall asleep doing it. But I hope you got some tips, even basic tips from about doing press-ons and, you know, doing the base coats and stuff, because it's all the same as well. It's all pretty much the same tips. It's just these are really, really long nails. And if you're just jumping on now, I will upload this after to my channel. So, okay, I have to move this. This ring finger is just annoying me. It keeps trying to go in there. But I will upload this, I will save this to my channel. It might go under the lives videos portion, but I will save it. Now I'll probably just do these two as well and then do the pinky last. I'm actually laughing how this ring finger keeps moving over. It's like it's taunting me. It's actually like it's taunting me that it's trying to touch off the other one. Yeah, that's definitely a sign to leave the other 5 till tomorrow. Because as we said earlier, contrary to popular belief, it's actually not Friday. It's actually still Thursday. Which is so disappointing. So I might just pull this back here as well. I think I see a couple of little, what look like bubbles, or they're little bumps. And I'm just trying to make sure I have this all done good before I pop it into the lamp. Okay, I might hold those upside down for a second as well, just to try and make it flow to the center. It's nice to see this technique and the time you put in them. I'm trying to learn how to do bigger and better things with nails. Oh yeah, thanks so much. I'm glad you're enjoying watching it, because like I said, it is quite repetitive even for me, but I'm glad that you're enjoying it and hopefully picking up some little tips along the way, because everything is like a tip, you know. Do you know, even nail techs, like they'll do something and I often pick up stuff that I would seem so simple, but I've just never done it before, and then a nail tech will say it and you're like, oh, so handy. So do you just do your own nails? Is it like, are you nail tech yourself, or are you just kind of nail hobbyist, nail enthusiast, or press-on nail artist? There's so many different things, or so many different ways to get involved with nails now. So yeah, I actually didn't say it in this video. I'm press-on nail business, like I sell my press-ons on Etsy, but my full-time gig would be a gel nail tech. So I'm a nail tech, and I do that mostly almost full-time, kind of between part-time and full-time. But then I do the press-ons as well, and that's kind of definitely a little side hustle, if you want to say, and I've like a press-on business on the side of being a nail tech. So that's how I started doing the press-ons. Hey Josh. How are you, Josh? Thank you, Ange. Thank you so much. Sorry, every time I look away from the nails, I'm just looking at the comments. And it's so nice that you kept me company doing these nails as well. I really, really, really appreciate it, because it's so nice to have a bit of company. Okay, I'm spending too long on those two nails now, and I know I am. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing? Okay. Now, I might just go in and do the pinky, because these are still settling a little bit. So I'm just going to go in and do the pinky. But I honestly can't believe. I know, I forget every time I do them that I suppose that it takes so much product, first of all. And even your top coats and stuff. Like, I definitely need to reorder my Beatles top coats for my press-on nails, because this Clarissa one I really like using on clients. So I don't particularly want to use it on press-ons, because it's so nice to use on clients that I just don't want to run out of it very easily. So I need to get on and order Beatles on Amazon after this, which I know is kind of controversial, and Beatles can be very controversial, but for me, I only use it on my press-ons. I don't use it on anything else, because I'm just not sure of the ingredients and stuff, and I've just heard a lot of horror stories, so I don't want to use it on my clients at all. I just wouldn't take the risk, because it's not worth it when you've heard so many horror stories, you know. Okay, I'm just going to hold that upside down again. And like I said, honestly, that's not a dig at the brand either. I haven't done my homework on it. I don't know every ins and out of every ingredient that's in it. It's only just because of the fact that so many people have had issues. It's kind of similar as well to, you know, there are brands that are kind of professional only as well, and they have been very controversial as well. It's not just the Amazon, if you want to say quote unquote Amazon brands. There's a lot of brands out there. You have to just figure out for yourself what you want, what you enjoy using, what suits you or your clients, and that's it. Now, so that those 5 are done. I actually forgot how taxing those long nails are to do. I'm not going to lie, I forgot how long every stage takes. So just in case you were just looking now, it's the 419 from Clarissa. That's the colour that I used. And the diamond top from Clarissa is what I used. And I love that one. It's so good. So I'm going to do a full cure on that as well, to make sure they're fully cured. Because you don't want anything to be uncured, even if it's pressed on nails. You don't want to take that risk. And I also, before I send them off to anyone, I always wipe them down with a lint-free wipe, just like this kind of a wipe here, which is actually a wax strip, but I wipe them down with a lint-free wipe and a little bit of acetone. Or not acetone, sorry, not acetone, alcohol. Not acetone, apologise. So here we go. They look really good. These are the 5 nails done and dusted. I'm so glad that I have 5 done anyway. I've got to start them. I'm going to do the other 5 tomorrow, and I'll do them off camera because, like I said, it's just a little bit repetitive. So I won't bore you through that scenario, but they look really good. I'm really happy with them. Really love the colour, and yeah, thank you so much for keeping me company. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much.